If you like the video, please consider supporting James Corp on Patreon. What we're going to be doing today is I want to try and do a front and try and figure out a front of what we're going to be doing. I'm going to spend probably about an hour to 2 hours doing one. Maybe try and do a few if I can. I'm not very good at them because I don't completely understand them 100%. So let's go over what I've decided so far on the setting. And if any of you watched last night, you would have discovered that, you know, I decided that some of it had come to pass, but it's not completely all out yet. So the Court Sunrise, basically about 400 years ago, they took power, wiped out the two other orders within this order. So it was called the Golden Dawn. The leaders and generals of the order, so they were like the commanders and stuff, because the goddess that they follow is the goddess of wisdom, war, weaving and medicine. Yeah, so 400 years ago, the Eltrus family basically took power, basically, and they basically scrubbed all records of the Silver Daybreaks and the Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn, like I said, are the generals. The Silver Daybreaks are like the scholars, or were the scholars and healers. So you know they were key parts of the faction, and then and the two orders were supported by the insubordinates. Is that the right word? Yeah. The Court Sunrise, that were like the lowest order. They did a lot of the maintenance and, you know, just the general upkeeping of everything in the order. They weren't privy to everything, being the lowest order, which is why this underground tomb has been kept away from the Court Sunrise. So some of the ideas that I've had for the Court Sunrise is that the Eltrus family isn't a family line per se. It is literally like the same people from 400 years ago, and what they've been doing is like feeding off life forces and basically sustaining themselves. If people in the order ask too many questions, they generally disappear and basically are consumed to sustain this family. Well, it's not even it's family. When I say family, I mean like a bunch of people who have been in control for centuries. They basically wiped all knowledge of the Golden Dawn and the Silver Daybreak. So, you know, destroyed books, destroyed tapestries and things like that. But I think there's going to be many locations around the world that, well, maybe not around the world, but all the temples and stuff like that, that they're probably, most of them will have a similar setup with the catacombs that hasn't been touched in hundreds of years, because the Court Sunrise don't even know they're there. So the other thing as well that I was thinking is that the Court Sunrise, even though they call the goddess that they worship Isla, I think that's what Jay Wall called it, it's actually not Isla. They're worshipping a goddess of hatred and tyranny instead, because that's what they want. They want control and they want to rule the world. So there's all that. And Trisrin's mentor, who disappeared, I think what Shiva... So I've written here, found some of this history. I mean, they probably got rid of most of the books, but maybe some slipped through. You know, some of them didn't get completely purged. And I was thinking that she may have been summoned to see the Eotrus family, and most people never come back. They disappear. They are sent off on like quests where actually they've just been consumed. So she fled. She fled before that ever happened. I also put down here as well that she's also a descendant that Retribution is trying to kill, or wants to kill, which is Jastor. Jastor's sword. I'm thinking that the sword's going to be like a cursed item, because just the way it's acting. But anyway, regarding this, so last night they were captured by some what they think are bandits. I think it's actually going to be Lady Dara, who is the leader of these. I don't think they're going to be bandits per se. I think they're just going to be followers that are like helping to protect her and stuff like that. Maybe they're friends, and they've brought, you know, allies along that aren't so scrupulous or whatever. You know, they're a bit, which is why they got attacked at the cathedral last night, because they're a bit, you know, even though they're working for someone who's good, she hasn't got full control of them. The Court Sunrise have got some people in this group that is reporting back. So one of the fronts will have to, I keep saying fronts that I'm going to have to work on is working out, like, I'm not going to do, I might do a campaign front today, I'm not sure, but I need to do an adventure front, because basically we need to work out what's going on with Lady Dara. So yeah, so like I said, so she found out some history. She fled. She didn't have time to contact Triswin because she just had to flee. She didn't want to put him at risk. Unfortunately, him being associated with her did put him at risk, which is why he's been exiled. I'm surprised he didn't get eaten, but yeah, why didn't he get eaten? Maybe they just weren't around to do it. Maybe they were elsewhere. Just convenience. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to put my thoughts on the paper. Jester Fawley. And then we're going to start figuring out some stuff from there. So Retribution is a cursed weapon that drives the owner to commit acts of murder. But to a bloodline, it's a cursed weapon that drives the owner to commit acts of murder to wipe out a line of people who is believed to have committed their own act of evil upon the Fawley line. The weapon drives the owner to never settle down. It is an impossible task to complete and often causes death of the owner. Jester will discover somehow that the sword is cursed. He cannot get rid of it in any way. It cannot be taken from him permanently and will always find a way back to Chastel's hand, which is what the weapon's supposed to do anyway. So the actual, like, the mechanics of the sword weapon that the fighter gets is basically he ends up getting it back. It cannot be permanently taken from him. So, you know, I think it will be something like, I don't know. I mean, has anyone got any suggestions on how it returns back to him, regardless of, you know, any suggestions? I mean, if it's a curse, I mean, does it just magically appear? Does it just magically, through some form of trickery, appear, like, near him again? So if someone was to, like, take the sword from him and ride off in the opposite direction, eventually it would appear back in his, whether it's in his hand or on his belt or on his person somewhere. Suggestions? All right, how subtly should it be? Oh my god! Oh, it's an axe as well. It's not a sword. Axe. It's an axe. I forgot it's an axe. Axe. But it doesn't matter. That's quite a cool idea. That is, yeah. Someone, a friend, I guess. No, that's my fault because I thought it was a sword. Or he finds it in a bedroll. Yeah. I do like just reappear. The axe will reappear in odd. Hang on, I'll correct that in a minute. Places always found by a ally. Okay, cool. So yeah, so if he tries to discard it, maybe like not too long after, like an MP's, like a player. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, if he tries to get rid of it, or someone takes it away, after a while they'll find it. So if they're all locked in a prison somewhere, one of them might, you know, and like there's a space, like I don't know, like there's a bed, you know, there's a bed. Under the bed, eventually this axe will appear, you know, and a player will find it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a good thing and it's also a bad thing, because if you find out it's cursed and you can't get rid of it, you're fucked. Not yet. He can talk to. He can get an advance at some point, let me just pull it up. Actually, let me pull up the. So I bring this over here so you can all see. I'll put it there. So we'll go down to the fighter. So he missed last session, so he's not. He's like a level out already. He can, if he takes a choice heirloom, where you can consult the spirits that reside within your signature weapon. They will give you an insight relating to the current situation and might ask you some questions in return. Roll plus charisma. On a 10 plus, the gem will give you a good detail. On a 7 to 9, the gem will give you an impression. And then I guess on a 6 or less, mark XP and something else happens. It can like become like a weapon that he can talk to. And I mean, it can be done any way, like, it could, you know, it's going to be down to his interpretation of how he wants it to look. So whether he has to like be loud, you know, and actually like shut up, and maybe, you know, does everyone hear it, or is it just him that hears the voices, you know, so he can do that. Well, I don't know if a bird will be dropping it back, but, you know, someone in the party will always, you know, this weapon will always turn up. So if you know, if it drops in lava and looks like, you know, it's going to be destroyed. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Right, our next step is to... How can he break the curse? How can Jastor break the curse? And should it be tied to the court sunrise? Should lots, you know, should a lot of the world's problem be down to these fuckers? Because he doesn't specify how long it was. He says, like, the sword has been in the family for generations, goes back... So he knows it goes back further than his grandfather, because his grandfather used to tell him tales of the sword. So it goes further back, but how much further back? So it could have been, like, about 500 years ago. Maybe the family was allied with, like, the Golden Dawn or the Silver Daybreak. You know, maybe they had something, you know, maybe they had some ties to the Golden Dawn, and... you know, the family was attacked. Maybe the Elatrus family were the ones that cursed it. I mean, it doesn't need to be 100% defined, but, you know, getting some ideas down will be good. Yeah, so basically, so according to the curse, so the people that killed Jastor's ancestors, the sword is seeking vengeance on their descendants. Let's say, so 500 years ago, I'm just going to say that, the saying goes, you know, the sins of the fathers shall be visited upon the sons. True, so that's one way to break the curse, would be to, like, follow through and... yeah, so following through and killing all of the descendants will break the curse. Surely it is almost an impossible task. Jastor has already tracked someone down and killed them. A glassblower apprentice called William Delane. He thinks he's gotten away with it. William Delane was found in a village called Woodbury. So while he was working for the mercenary company called the Black Blades, I personally think it will be an impossible task. Because, you know, because as families, like family trees, as they spread out, you know, they get more and more. And if it's been going on for, like, even a few generations, there could be, like, over, like, a few dozen people. Well, not even a few dozen. So, like, let's say if, like, they had the first people that did it had two children. I mean, we're talking about olden days as well. They used to have big families. But let's say they had two children that survived, and then they went off and got married and had two children of their own. We're literally a generation in, and there's, like, now 4 of them, and then they all go off and have children, and there's, you know, so if it doubles every time, you know. Right, we'll come back to the curse. So let's start working on a front, shall we, for next week, an adventure front. Okay, let's front. For now, we're just going to make it an adventure front. Name, we'll paste name there. Right, description. So they've got this book. They've got this book. The paladin is now wearing the a breastplate of the Golden Dawn. So let's try and think this through. So they're not bandits per se, even though people think they're bandits. I guess some of them are bandits. They're just, you know, they're just there just to freeload, I guess, of what's going on. Sometimes large groups of people will track the wrong people, much like protests and stuff. So let's think what we need to do. Okay, so I have got an idea forming, and I'm gonna just put it out briefly of what I'm thinking. So, Lady Dara Alla Shalane has found out that Dawnguard hides some important information on Court Sunrise. She has gathered a group of allies, some not so, to explore the ruins and find where the hidden catacombs under the abandoned city of Dawnguard. She intends to find out the history, the Court Sunrise, and their lie. The Order has spies within the group and are looking to take the book and any artifacts back to the Court's Sunrise leaders. Cast. So, for the Court's Sunrise. Danger. Impending doom. And then we need grim portents. Let's cut this out. Right. Type. Impulse to... So now you need 3 or so portents. So I think what we could have, so one of them could be the book is found, and we could like check it off straight away because it was found. It has been found by a party member. So if I do something like that, book is discovered. Because if the book is not destroyed, they could lose the city again. Well, the city's already destroyed. I mean, Dawnguard is pretty much is completely abandoned part. But I guess rather than the city's taken over, I guess this collection of like people, 3 people maybe, I don't know. What would it be called? So you know, Lady Dara and her allies are destroyed because, you know, the book is discovered. Her cabal, yeah, that's pretty good. But I think I'm going to have one because I want one more step because obviously the book is discovered. Spies take the book. Shrine cabal is destroyed. No, it's not used. Destroyed, wiped out, and then, like you said, the book is destroyed. There we go. Hang on, that's just one danger, is it not? And then Trisrin is hunted down. Right, there we go. This can obviously change because, you know, very few. So maybe 2 or 3. So I'm gonna need more than what we've got. So actually, we only need. That is, yeah. The quartz is the big one. All right, I guess. Technically, this is probably a start of a campaign front, right? Is that right? Am I right in thinking this? What should I call it? The Breaking Dawn. Are they dangers supposed to be linked? This is where I get confused, alright? This is where I struggle with like, okay, what am I supposed to do? What are the other... So it's A to B plot. Is it literally... I'm quite dangerous. Think how each one interacts as a facet of the front as a whole. Keep in mind the people, places and things that might be part of the threat to the world that the front represents. How does each danger contribute to the front? The easiest place to start with is the people, monsters, cultists, ogres, chieftains, demonic overlords, and the like are all excellent dangers. These are creatures that have risen above mere monsters' status to become serious threats on their own. Groups of monsters can be dangerous too. Goblin tribes or rampaging centaurs. Think more broadly. Right, okay. Well, I mean, there's a lot the party could do there. Chase the spies, work to save the Cabal's leader. If they catch a spy but not the one with the book, they could learn about the Cabal being in danger and the book being destroyed. If they happen at or near the same time, they could only save one of them. That would be AB, yeah? Right, I'm back. Yes, Rooster's right. So basically, like, for example, so if the spy, so the spies are going to try and take the book, right? But it's on the player. So if the player stops the spy, if the player stop the spy from taking the book, then this all changes. But I also assume that the spy. So there's probably a group of them. It's not. It might not just be one. It might be some of them because they probably perceive her as a threat. Some are probably going to try and some are going to. I mean, they're not. Maybe one or two of them will probably leave the camp, the encampment, and start heading back without the book to basically report back to the leaders that this book has been found, and that hopefully their friends will be following them up afterwards with the book. But that might not come apparent. But so that would this whole thing here. So all of this would potentially change from the instance. So another danger I'm thinking about as well, but I don't know if this would class as a danger. The other danger that I have in mind is that Lady Dara is a descendant, and that Jester have this urge to kill her or want to kill her, and then obviously Triswin will not want him to kill her because she's completely innocent. Could that be a danger in this front? A front is supposed to have 2 to 3 dangers, but I've only got one. So could the cursed sword be a danger? Okay. What sort of danger is this? Would it be an ancient curse, which is impulse is to ensnare, or would it be a sentient artifact, impulse to find a worthy wielder? But it's already found a worthy wielder. What does ensnare mean? Catch in or as in a trap. I guess it could be a trap because if he kills, because if he goes, because it is a trap. So I was thinking, and it hurt quite a bit downstairs. Let's grab this. I might even change the name. So let's copy this from the ashes. I think I'm going to call this. So this is going to be the campaign front, or one of the I don't know how many campaign fronts I can have. Campaign front. Call it the Breaking Dawn. Description: the Elitru's family solidify their power and start to gather troops to invade Old City of Crystal, then proceed to, and once they have fallen, turn their gaze upon the elven city of Ionite. I need to come up with the main bloke. So my idea with them is that, so rather than it being descendants from the family that initially started the uprising against the Golden Dawn, they're actually the same people, and what they've been doing. This is what I'm going to run this by you, see what you guys think. They've basically been somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. I mean, it could be explored, but they have basically been draining people of their life force, essence, whatever, feeding off it, and basically has basically kept them alive and youthful. And what they do is they basically pretend to basically be their grandson. The next. They become the what word am I looking for? They basically pretend to be descendants when they're not descendants. They are the same people. How does that sound? Does that make any sense? Yeah, basically like vampires, but not vampires. I'm actually where did I get it from? I guess their ultimate goal is to become immortal from the ashes. So we need to think of the dangers. So I think book is destroyed would be the first one, maybe? Or would it be... This is so fucking hard. This is so complicated. How is this so complicated? How do you get into the mind frame? Create a few dangers, maybe 2 or 3. Alright, because they're fucking easy to make, aren't they? Choose an impending doom for each danger. If it was just an impending doom for the fucking front, it would be a lot easier. Give each danger a list of importance. Oh no, it's that, isn't it? Give a danger a list of importance that leads to its impending doom. Oh my god. Let's try and complete one front. So let's ignore the campaign front. I can do that some other time. So, let's do retribution. Danger. The sins of the father. Yeah, I think ancient curse. I'm going to go with ancient curse. To ensnare. Pending doom. It's either going to be destruction or usurpation. Destruction, apocalypse, ruin, and woe. Because if it goes through, then Monty's character will kill Lady Dara. So it'll either be apocalypse, ruin, and woe, or usurpation. Chains of order come apart. Someone rightful is displaced. Well, someone rightful is murdered. They're displaced. And then obviously apocalypse, ruin, and woe. Well, you've just ruined someone's life, and the cabal will collapse. Retribution is brought before Lady. The axe demands payment. Is murdered. Oh, wow. Okay, so that is my first ever thing. Lead spy. I might name some more. A few more spies. No more than 3 more. And then we've got stakes questions. Stakes. And how many questions does this take? Finish out the cast, then write a few stakes questions. So one of the questions I want is like, how will Jastor react when he finds out that Lady Selene descendant? What will Lady Shannon think when she finds out her pupil, okay, her pupil found the catacombs? One more question. Will the spies manage to take the book from Melandra? Alright. That is my first ever front. That was fucking overcomplicated, isn't it? And most of the times I've just given up. To tell you the honest truth, I've just gone, no, fuck this. It's far too much work. I guess we could have another danger, because there are bandits actually in this group as well. So that could be another danger. I mean, the other danger could be like people trying to like, because not everyone in this cabal is honest at all. They're literally hanging on to like basically pick like not ravens, like vultures, you know, take some gold for themselves and shit like that. So we could have that as well. Like that could be enough. Oh my god! Wow, my brain. That closest would be Thieves Guild. That's what I can see. I think a Thieves Guild part would probably work the best for this idea. Thieves Guild to take by subterfuge. Impending doom. Impending doom. Let's have a look. Destruction. Impoverishment. Enslavement. Abandonment of goodness and right. Impoverishment. You know, they're trying to like take shit like money from them. How many is it? Is it 2 or 3? About 3 to 5 or 2 to 4 for dangers for other fronts. So let's do 2 chances. The thieves choose their mark. And then they rob them of all their wealth. All their wealth. They rob. They rob. They rob. They. Ooh, that. They rob their wealth. Thieves. The thieves choose their mark. The weakest. They choose their mark. The weakest. The weakest one. Alright, there we go. Okay, so well done. Good job here. So we got a front with like. Oh, I guess we should have another one, really. Lastly, could they spend the wealth on? That's not a bad question as well. I'm gonna have one more question. What will the thieves spend? Oh God, spend their money on? They head to the closest town to spend their ill-gotten gains. Spend ill-gotten gains. Okay, right, there we go. So that's okay. So that actually works. We actually we've ended up with so we've got something sort of tying to the campaign front, maybe. So the campaign front that we had down here is, well, I guess it would be Triswin is hunted down would be like part of this. Triswin is hunted down. What else could there be? I mean, they could be like, let's have a look. What other organisation things can there be? So yeah, they could we could take the cult, they could set up a cult within one of the cities, especially the Yield. Could the fees be bankrolling the Quartz group basically for some as of yet undefined reason? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe they're just out for themselves. Who knows? But we can find out, because that's the beauty of Dungeon World, is we find out what happens, how it plays out. But yeah, I reckon one of the dangers that's going on is that maybe in the Elven City they're setting up a cabal, impulse to absorb those in power to grow. Was that the right one? Or was there a cult? Hang on, what was the cult? No, it was cult, wasn't it? So what was it, they make a false cult within the city and fund it? Pending doom. Rampant chaos. Or no, would it be usurper? No, it would be that one. The chains of order come apart. Because if they're trying to attack from within to weaken their enemies, that would be it, wouldn't it? You would be trying to undermine the leaders, and everything. That would be your goal. I'll have to feel that out a bit more. The uprising. I need to think of a name. So, this is still being worked on. So it doesn't matter that it's not 100%. Okay, let's have a think about this. Misguided good. Yeah, I guess this one will be misguided good. Type misguided good. Impulse to do what is right, no matter the cost. They've been given false information. Nobody tell James there's an alternative simplified front system on Reddit. Fucking dickhead. We'll probably expand this as well. So this is just the basic overview of what we're doing. Impending doom. The enemy within. The enemy within. Nice one. Again, spies of Quartz Sunrise. Infiltrate the Elven City of Ionite. Right, I'm going to grab the tick font because I'm going to assume they've already done that. I need to come up with more of this, but that can be done at another time. The enemy within the cult, they make a cult and form. They start to form a religious cult. With the humans, the downtrodden humans. Because in this city, humans are second-class citizens, pretty much. The cult power grows, and they start to disrupt the workings of the city. Riots break out as the humans and elves come to blow. Last one. The city is in chaos. The city is in chaos, and the armies of the Order march in unopposed. Awesome. So let's actually change this to the book is destroyed. All opposition within the Order cast out. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. 2 fronts so far. But I think I'm going to call it there for the night. So if you want to find out what happened, or what happens and how it happens, and if it goes okay, come check out on Monday, when we continue Dungeon World. Hopefully, we'll have more than the 3 players we had on this Monday when we were down a player.